Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Before we get started on this review, I wanted to talk a bit about Chanel and Allie because I've been thinking about this throughout most of the day, and their fast track of getting together. I have a theory. Now, Will and Sonny aren't really on the show anymore. I mean, they may make a guest appearance here and there and stuff like that, but not really on the show. And, representation is a big thing and it's important. And I feel like, you know, making them a couple that fast. I mean, let's just sit there and think about this for a minute. Allie literally said to Chanel, it's usually not a good idea when you get out of a relationship that you just, jump right back into another one. And then she proceeds to sit there and ask Chanel out. Like, what? That's like they're saying, it's not really a good idea to drink and drive. But it's only a couple of blocks home, so whatevs. And that's how I feel, about how. Because it's just, I mean, granted, on top of the fact that I don't like Allie, and I don't exactly really like what she did to Trip. And when you really think about it, come on, she wasn't drunk or anything like that. And this isn't the first time where she was like, I'm choosing Trip and I don't want to, really want to mess things up. And I think here's the thing, she kissed her twice. And the first time, they weren't together. Okay, fine. But then Allie kissed her again and was like, listen, we can't really do anything. I'm, I'm with Trip, this, that, and the third, and I'm in a committed relationship. You're in a committed relationship, and yet it just happened. You just jumped in her bed. I mean, come on, you could have slept back to back. I mean, granted, that would have probably made him feel uncomfortable, but okay, whatever, fine. But you just start making out with her and then just like it just happened? No, things like that don't just happen. And I feel like that is the reason why they're together. Let's think about this for a minute. Chanel was with Johnny, and now this whole devil thing happened, and they need Chanel to be with somebody. And I felt like, I don't know, I'm not fully, like my theory isn't exactly solid, but I feel like because there need to be representation, this is the way they went about it. And why I always sit there, why I always would sit there and be like an advocate and just like representation is important. And it doesn't matter, you know, as far as like messages and stuff like that, if it doesn't reach everyone. But, it's important to actually have it because other people may want that and need that and think it's important. So, but the way they went about it, and you could just see it in the writing in the way just how they fast tracked it. So I don't know. I feel like that's like my theory about it and why it's just been like I mean on top of the fact that I feel like Ali is just trash in general, um like just how it just all went about, you know? Um now let's get started on this episode for a minute. Two people who I really can care less about, you can already guess, Chloe and Brady. Um there was one point they were about to kiss. And then John came in and kind of interrupted them. And then Brady was like, listen, I don't want you to sit there and think I'm trying to hit on you because I know you're not ready yet. But apparently Chloe's ready. She's like, hey, listen, it's time to move on. I don't know what's happened to him, but I know what's happened to Philip, but, I hope he's okay. And I can't be in limbo. So they make out. And not gonna lie. Somehow watching those two make out made me nauseous. And I was like, you know what? I lost my appetite for a good 20 minutes. And yep. So that's going to be a thing because at this point, why not? I mean, I don't know what's going on with the actor, if he's on vacation or whatever's going on, but they need to do something with Chloe and you need to do something with Brady, and this is what they're doing. And okay, sure, whatever. I gotta sit there and wonder, was Leo always this joke character? You know, like was he always this? You know, like whenever he does something, he says something. Like this is after um they decide to get dinner. After Craig and Leo decide to get dinner, they're running to Kayla and Steve. And Leo, you know, here's the thing: they run into Craig, and he overhears the fact that Kayla was pressured by the board to fire Marlena. He walks up like, "Hey, what's going on? I heard you're pressured to fire Marlena. What's that about?" Bro, you know damn well she can't sit there and talk to you about that. You don't even work there. Are you just gonna sit there and just walk in on their conversation? Are you kidding me? Um, so you know, Steve was like, "Yo, this is like a private conversation," and you know, Kayla knew, knew Craig. So he's like, "Hey, you know, how's it going? Yada yada yada." They talk about Nancy, breaking up, and then Leo comes in. Leo's like, "Oh, I'm his boyfriend." And the thing is, they accompanied. You know what? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. They followed it up by playing their usual joke music whenever something's supposed to be funny. I'm like, why are they doing this? I mean, granted, Leo, from his history, comes across as a real scumbag. Okay, just a real scumbag. And yeah, I know he had a tragic backstory when he was a child and everything like that, and that sucks. But that doesn't give him an excuse to sit there and screw people over moving forward. I don't give people just a blanket slate of just doing bad things because they have bad things happen to them. Like, that just doesn't work for me. Um, anyway, it's like they just treat him like he's just this joke character, and he starts saying a bunch of inappropriate things, by Marlena and this, that, and the third. And he's like, "Hey, we should hang out, we should have dinner," and okay, it's like, well, you know, listen, we gotta sit there and check our calendars because you know we're just so busy, doing things, being with you. Say leave. And you know, one of the things that Kayla says is, you know, I got to be careful around Craig. You know, I can't like you got to sit there and make sure that I keep hospital business to myself, like it's just I mean you because you may sit there and try to steal my job. And you know, Steve was like, "You think you would really do that?" And Kayla was like, "Well, you know, listen, he's with Leo, and Leo's always scheming and stuff." Which is ironic. I mean, granted, I felt like that was just such foreshadow because towards the end, you know, long story short, um, Leo tells Craig, "Hey, you know what? Listen, why don't we come out here and you could just be chief of staff out here, you know?" That just has a lot to do with Nancy. This has a lot to do with Nancy. And one of the things that Nancy did that I am just so not a fan of, and I know that she comes across as a bit of a dingbat, but I feel like this is still inexcusable. So they're having dinner, and he gets a text. Gets a text from his job or one of his colleagues. It's not saying that Nancy told you know, his job that they broke up. And he broke up because, you know, like he left. Well, pretty much they was like, Craig broke up with me pretty much because he wanted to be with he wanted to be with another man. And I'm like, did you just out him? at his job. Like, are you kidding me? You just out him practically in front of all his colleagues and stuff like that. Like, all his colleagues and people like that, they know about him coming out, about him being gay. And that was something that, you know, he was supposed to tell them, not her. I felt like that was just, I felt like that's something that's, sacred. You don't do that. You don't sit there and just, out somebody until they're ready. He just came out and, he's still kind of figuring things out and navigating. And Nancy, like the idiot dingbat that she is, decided to tell her decide to sit there and tell his job that Craig left her for another man. I'm like, are you kidding me? So that thoroughly pissed me off. But with that being said, Craig is like, like I may sit there and lose my position, me dumping her like that, like she is a huge part of the hospital as far as like the charity funds and things of that nature. Like she's just a huge part of the hospital. I don't know if she works there, she's a volunteer, but she's really respected there. And to find out that, Craig broke her heart, I'm like, yo, well, we can't mess with that. And then there's the whole some people are just ignorant and will sit there and treat him differently. Um, and may even want to sit there and fire him. And of course, Leo's like, yo, you shouldn't be fired for being gay. It's like, I'm not, but I can get frozen out of certain social circles, which still pisses me off. And that's when Leo's like, yo, listen, why don't you, get a job out here? You could be chief of staff. I mean, listen, if Kayla's not going to sit there and do her job, then you could just ride on in there and just handle it yourself and give her the boot. So, but again, I felt like it was one of those things. Was like, damn, y'all was just like right on the nose. Like, really? I mean, you practically told the ending of their last scene before it even happened with Kayla and Steve. Like, are you kidding me? I, I know they had to sit there and try to play up the suspense in a certain way, but damn, y'all was just like it could have been a much smoother way of going about it. But I feel like I was kind of lazy, but whatever. So, long story short, Will and Sonny, they catch up with Chad, about everything that happened with Kristen and the island, and as far as Abby being kidnapped. So you talk about that and everything. Then you talk about Craig. Talk about Craig coming out with Leo. And of course, Chad talks about his history with Leo as far as like all the unwanted advances that Leo was not there, going for as far as, going after Chad. And so Will and Sonny, I don't understand why, and granted, this took like a whole hour if you're watching this, live. But Will and Sonny be like, hey, listen, we need to expose Leo. We can't just hire anyone to sit there and try to do something because he's going to see it coming. There's two things that Leo wants: money and sex. Probably more sex than money, gonna be honest. And so they're like, hey, we want Chad to seduce Leo. I think Sonny was like, oh yeah, you're gonna take him to bed or something like that. And it's funny the way they are building this story up, like, well, we need somebody with money and looks and stuff like that that's gonna really, kind of expose him for a cheater. And they keep looking at Chad and Chad's like, huh? What? Yeah? Huh? I'm like, bro, how are you running this company and you can't clearly see what they're suggesting? And, and you were a CEO, but you couldn't figure out what they were actually saying. Okay, all right. Wow. Maybe EJ really should have been running that damn company. Or Jake. I mean, damn, bro, it was in black and white when it was up there just pretty much begging you or telling you you guys seduce Leon. Okay, so we're doing that now. Um, and I almost forgot. I almost forgot. So John, Marlena, and Johnny are talking about the exorcism and stuff like that. And yeah, there's one point where well, first of all, Marlena got to sit there and catch John up to speed, and that takes like way too long. Um, and they're like, we can't call Sean because he's dealing with Eli and the shooting and stuff like that, and him being in a coma and finding just working the case. Like we can't sit there and involve him. So Diablo Johnny's upstairs, and he's like, "Yo, you know what? Maybe you should just like not wake up, because like, I mean, it's just gonna be too much work, like going through all that." So he proceeds to start to choke, like put his hands around Belle's neck, and John gets in there, is like, "Hey, I saw you, your hands around my daughter, like pretty much like you had your hands wrapped around her throat." But then he does not mention it. It's like, okay, so you saw that, and you're like, all right, so we gotta sit there and go through this exorcism, this, that, and the third. I was like, whoa, bro, you just gonna sit there and pretend that you didn't see Johnny? You just saw Johnny put his hands around your daughter's throat. You should either be wringing his neck, yelling at him, finding out why was he about to choke her, or something along those lines. Instead, we're just gonna sit there and totally ignore that and just do 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 do. Like what? I remember I had to sit there and rewind that because I was like, wait, so you just gonna just act like that just didn't happen? Like, but then he's in there, keep looking at Johnny like he's annoyed, and he's like, listen, I'm not too sure if she's even possessed. And of course, the devil slips out of Johnny into Belle. So when John opens Belle's eyes because she's still asleep, he saw the yellow eyes. Ah, okay, cool. She's possessed. So John goes to the house to get his toolkit, interrupt Brady and Chloe, and then I still gotta sit there and see that nauseating scene. He comes back, he got his toolkit. It's like, all right, I'm ready to go. John, you gotta go. And Johnny, I was like, what? I gotta go. I mean, I want to help. I love her. And I think John said something to the effect of like, you're being annoying or something like that. I was like, bro, annoying? You, this man's hands was around your daughter's neck. Um, but he pretty much kind of kicks him out. And eventually he does kick out Marlena too. Johnny's like, Johnny Alp's like, what am I gonna do? I mean, they're gonna sit there and try to do this whole exorcism thing, and they're gonna realize that she's not possessed. What could I do? So he calls Sean. Um, I don't know what that's gonna do, but okay, I'm pretty sure he has another plan for that. You know what? I am so glad that I am not bothered by this whole possession storyline. I know there was a lot of people that were just pissed. When it first started, people were so angry. So angry. The guy who plays Doug, when he showed his picture or the eyes and everything like that, Marlena, just kind of, goofing around or whatever. You saw people in the comment section so mean and like angry, and I'm like, man, I'm hoping he doesn't read that comment section. People like, I can't stand this storyline. It's stupid. I'm not gonna watch this anymore. Da 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 da. And I'm like, you kind of look at it, you're just like, and it's kind of sad because listen, I've done my fair share of comments and stuff like that too, but I've done my fair share of comments. But my point is, you see that stuff going on. You see people like, I don't like this, that, and the third. It's like, what is he supposed to do about this? What are you gonna sit there and do? Look at all the comments like, well, you guys really don't like this business storyline. Well, I'm just the actor on the show, but I'm pretty sure I got enough sway to sit there and kind of end this thing fast. Like, what do you expect him to do? And I get that people are like, this is my opinion, this, that, and the third. When you start leaving like negativity like that, it just doesn't make it fun. You know, it doesn't make it fun. And it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to sit there and get your mind off of whatever drama that you got going on and then get in somebody else's drama and have people sit there and be all like, this, that, and the third, and this is stupid, and I'm gonna stop watching it. It's like, this is toxic. It's just toxic. And it's sad. It's sad. And I've been there. So I can't sit there and really, go at them too hard, but it just makes it so, just kind of a toxic place to be in, which is why I generally don't read some of the comments because it just doesn't make it fun. So yeah, he calls Sean, and I guess Sean's going to be in Monday's episode. I'm waiting for the episode when Nancy gets back and Craig confronts her about why did you sit there and tell my job about about what happened with us, like pretty much outing me at my job. Like I want to. I mean, granted, whatever excuse that she uses, it's going to be piss poor. It's going to be piss poor. Okay, I know that Nancy could be a dingbat, but there's being a dingbat, and then there's doing something where it's like, are you kidding me? I don't think that she really understands the the stuff that ramifications that that happens with people who are ignorant. I guess that's what happens when you have a dingbat as a wife and just as a person in general. I don't know. Let me just double check my notes. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Oh, I'll probably sit there and say this on Monday anyway when I talk about GH. And this is if you watch my reviews on GH. So I was sitting there talking about a movie. Karen, I can't remember what the name of the movie was. And the movie was called Caitlin's Addiction. And if you watch the movie, you understand why I actually like that movie. So, but I'll probably just repeat myself in the GH review. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a great, safe, amazing weekend, and I will see you in the next video.